this fully detailed prompt here that you could use AI to create the outline yourself and or use a keyword tool to help with that process. So what I would do to start, if you have no idea what to do, is to go to somewhere like Claude or ChatGPT and ask it to create a topical outline for a piece of content on a service page for laser cutting service. Now, for some of the content on this page, what you could do is use that people also ask segment or trick I showed you earlier and get information you can use for finding questions people are asking specifically related to laser cutting service. And this is great content to put in the FAQ section on that page that can help you rank for those questions that people are asking, but also help you rank in language models as well. So the prompt here, like I mentioned, what I will do is I will take this full prompt and I will start to populate it with data from NeuRonwriter. So what we have to do here, and in this case, I'm just keeping it blank. You would use your company name here, obviously, but I'll have it blank and it'll just come up with a fake company name for us. So I want you to create exceptional content from a metal fabrication company site that feels 100% human written. And the one other note here, if you are concerned about the AI creating footprints in your content, that's fine. Do not use this to create content. Then just use AI or tools to create an outline and manually publish the content. You can absolutely do that, and it works extremely well to rank also. Audience and voice, right for engineers, purchasing managers, OEM buyers, and so on. And again, you can change any of this and put it to whoever your target buyer would be. Specificity, focus on this task. Create a word count word article. So if we go back here to NeuRonwriter and we look at how much content we needed to have, it recommends 1,217. So if we go back here, we will do this as 1217, titled, and we will just title this Laser Cutting Services. Blend in these keywords naturally along with related LSI, so latent semantic indexing, just means synonyms. Synonyms are adjacent processes, material intelligence language to deepen topical coverage. And then the keywords will go here. So if we go back to NeuRonwriter, we go to term coverage, and we want article. What we want to do is copy all of these here. So we want to copy list of terms and suggested uses. What this will do in the prompt here is add in all of the terms. You can see here it recommends that we have laser cutting service in that content 1 to 3 times. Laser cut 9 to 24, and so on. Go back to NeuRonwriter here, and we want to also add the extended list. So we'll copy this with suggested uses, add this to the bottom of this list, and then where it fits, reference real specifics, materials. Again, you would, if you do not offer MIG or TIG welding or spot welding or whatever, remove all of that. If you don't have any standards or certifications that you want to put onto this page, remove those also. Don't put information in here just for the sake of having it. Make sure it's relevant for your business. Structure and flow. Divide the article into sections with headings inspired by these recommendations. Only if they're relevant. Use question-based headings where possible to target featured snippets and AI overuse. H2, H3 recommendations. So we go back to NeuRonwriter, we go up to headings, and H1 would be for the main part of, or the main title of the page, so we don't need to add those. We'll grab H2s, H3s, and I will copy all of them. Go back here, paste those in there. And now we have all the H2s, H3s, company name. I added at the bottom here to just use a fake company name. I'll go through the rest of this prompt here. So language, we do not want fancy or clunky words. We want to make it very easy for people to understand. We want it to be accurate, so logic, and avoid making up details. And then we also want to focus on reader value first, making it read like a seasoned fabricator's advice, not just a keyword pile up or a bunch of AI content. FAQ section, we want to have a detailed FAQ section at the end. And then here's the structured data markup to use as well. And then after writing, review it to ensure it feels human. And like I mentioned before, if company name is not filled in, just use a made up company name. Now, here's one other piece of very helpful, useful information for you. When you are creating content on your website, building internal links to other pages on your website is going to help search engines understand how these pages are related to each other and it's going to help you rank. Building internal links to pages on your site can improve rankings without doing anything else. So what you would want to do is to get a list of those URLs. So in this example here, if we just have, we'll call it latfabrication.com, and this page itself talks about your laser cutting services, and you also talk about plasma cutting and water jet cutting, and that's it, let's say. So what you would do in that case, if you already have these pages, then you would link to these pages in here. So it would be latfabrication.com/ and depending on your URL structure that you organized before, you would link to these pages here. So then you would do the same thing here. Boom, water jet cutting. And what you would want to do is to keep this list in here and have this prompt that says, additionally, if relevant, link to any of these internal pages using strategic, contextual, optimized anchor text based on the topic of the page. So what does this mean? This sounds fancy. Strategic, contextual, optimized anchor text. Anchor text is the blue, usually blue text when you have a link on a page. You would want to be sure that within the content on your site, you're using contextual, so it's relevant, within that piece of content to link to this other page. So on your laser cutting page, for example, if you talk about the differences between laser cutting and plasma cutting, you could say something like that. I'll show you when the content's created because it should do this for us. And what we'll see then is we'll have a link to plasma cutting and water jet cutting within that piece of content. But if this is your site, it would link to those pages on your site, which helps rank and makes it easier for people to find additional information and additional services you have. So I will take this entire prompt now, and I will copy this into Claude, and I will run this. And what this will give us then is a piece of content output that we can copy directly into NEURONwriter. And when that's done, we can check the score to see how well it's optimized. Then from there, we could make additional edits. You can manually edit this further. You can take that piece of content and run it and see how it actually ranks and if it gets indexed. I would recommend manual editing regardless, and then also adding in any call to action items or other relevant pieces of information that can help your prospective buyers understand and learn more about you. If you want the full strategy for how to build this out completely for your website, the first link in the description has everything you need. Complete keyword list, all recommended pages to build, and the content prompt I use. Plus, it's specific to metal fabrication. Hope it helps.